station on Frenchman Street. From a brass band and a second line beat, blow the funky meter off the scale. I ain't telling you no tale, lady boy playing traffic cop.
So welcome to Scatology number 31 with our bestest friend, Dillion James.
I thought you were going to hit it 31 times for a second.
XXXI.
Like when the clock strikes the hour and dong, dong. Thanks for having us, guys. Thanks for having me on Scatology.
Thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, no worries.
Great pleasure.
What's this studio called?
Um,
Got a name?
well, not really, but I guess it's kind of DJB Studios, wherever my stuff is. That's where I've got a fair bit of stuff. And if the camera turns around a little bit, you'll see it stacked from the floor to the ceiling.
Get a picture, pop it up on screen.
Absolutely.
And you've got a hashtag for that?
No, I'm not. It's not official. It's an underground thing. We're in a bit of a bunker here. Half of the room is underground. The other half is above ground, fortunately. But it keeps it cool in summer. So even in the summertime, you can hide away here in the middle of the day, and it's been good, especially in lockdown. It's been, heaven sent to have a creative space.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And so I've been working on some new recordings, which I plan to release to. I haven't got anything on Spotify or iTunes yet. I've made 3 albums and they're just available on CD at my gigs, but I haven't put it out there. I feel like I wanted to revise some of that material and make it something that would stand the test of time. Where a lot of these other recordings, I'm proud of them, but we learn as we go. I like to think I'm getting better. Otherwise I should quit. No, just joking. Don't quit, kids. Don't quit.
Do you sell your stuff on Bandcamp at all?
No. I just purely sell
Just gigs.
Just gigs.
Yeah.
Just the CDs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy to sort of stay underground in that sense. I get 100% of what I sell, and so that's people know they're supporting an artist when they give you the money at the gig and you give them a CD. And most of the time I get good messages back. I guess people who don't like the CD don't bother letting you know about it. But,
have you seen much of a change in the last 6 months at all?
with less cash in people's pockets. Yeah, people aren't carrying cash, but they can give them your bank details to put the money in. I'm not worried about a scammer rocking up at my gig to steal my bank account details in person. So, give them a sheet of paper and put the money in, so I think people are still buying CDs at about the same rate. There's still the people that love live music and local artists and want to support, and when they truly have a good time at your gig, then they want a piece of that to remember it or just to check you out a bit further. And I think the reason I sell my discs the way they are is I think I made them to flow. The songs flow into each other, and my first album was like almost an hour's worth of music. So it was.
What's that one called?
Tone Baked Goodness.
Tone Baked Goodness.
Yes. It's got a little picture of a Banksia on the cover, and it looks like little laughing mouths or singing mouths coming out of a nut. And I had
be on the screen.
Sorry?
That'll be on the screen.
Oh, yes, that will. Right here. Just hang on, just here, right in front of. No, sorry, Jeremy. I'm getting cheeky already. This is a good start. So I had a 6-piece band when I did that, and that was some of my brother was in it, my younger brother, and some of my good friends, and we started jamming at an Aboriginal art gallery in West End, actually where the backdrop comes from.
Oh, really?
Indigenous Arts it was called. It was a 100% Aboriginal owned art gallery and no government funding. They stood there. They stood on their own 2 feet for a couple of years, and we did our bit to support them coming down and hosting a jam on a Tuesday night.
Are you saying they're gone?
That was 10 years ago now, and
They're
I'm just
still
sort of.
there?
You said we were going to talk about the origins of my music, and this is where the band started.
I'm just wondering if
Oh,
that
you can-
centre is still there, or
No, it's like a coffee shop and a car park or something. now,
right.
it's,
Well, that's a shame.
opposite the markets. It was there on Montague Road for three years or so,
Yeah, yeah.
and it was a beautiful spot, and it was just it was high rent. Rent was increasing. West End's a very popular place. They had a very large space, and it was hard to maintain. Like that's a lot of artwork and a lot of merch and a lot of boomerang painting and tours to do in a week. I think the rent was somewhere near $1,000 a week. That's a lot of money you got to make, and paying staff, and
What
they
even-
really did hold up well. They did a lot of conferences in South Bank where international business people come, and they would pay good value for a painting. So
And even the Melbourne Hotel, they disappeared
Yeah,
pretty much.
the Melbourne Hotel
that
got
just
knocked
a-
down. Yeah.
Isn't it just a Woolies pub now?
No, it's got rebuilt. It's a completely different
Yeah.
building now.
Yeah.
The West End Hotel is not. It's not the Melbourne Hotel. Like it's like
It's like a restaurant. And
it's a
there's
they
no
they
bands or
totally
anything.
knocked the building down. It was four levels below zero, and they scooped it all out. It's probably a car park now.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
West End was so cool.
Still is just
Things change,
Yeah.
West End had a very much a golden era, and I'm so happy that I tagged on to the end of
You
that.
took a part of it, yeah. You
I
were
was
a part of it.
17 when I moved here in 2002, February 2002 or something like that. I turned up and I lived in Indooroopilly, but I spent all my time in West End, and I was going to uni at UQ. There was no Greenbridge then, otherwise I would have lived in West End and just rode my bike across the bridge, That
What
would
did
have
you
made
do at uni?
engineering. Oh, I did electrical engineering.
Right.
Yep. It messed with my brain, all that algebra and signal and image processing. I got right into the musical side of electrical engineering. I did my thesis in real-time beat acquisition, so
Right.
kind of artificial intelligence trying to tune into a piece of music and click to the beat. And I had a bit of success, but I didn't get it working in real time, which was that's another step. The amount of computing power I needed to figure out the beat was a little bit more than what the chip of the day could handle. And maybe nowadays might be a different story, but I think they've pretty much perfected that by now. Anyway, and
You just,
I wouldn't
you
say I was
still
cutting
dabble
edge,
in
but-
that at all?
I'm 2/3 of the way through a master's in sustainable energy, and I've taken a bit of a break to be a dad, and I've been focusing on my music as well. Making a living out of playing the piano and studying is pretty full on while you're being a parent. So it's life's a juggling act. It always is. So
So you've
a
had
bit
your
of-
first, have you?
had my first child. I wouldn't say that I wouldn't do it again. It is very
How old were you first?
look at all this stuff.
Yeah,
For the
no,
ladies
no,
out there.
I get to play with toys
Yeah.
again, and it's okay.
Boss
No one
is
thinks I'm
always-
weird.
Yeah.
How old's your first?
He's
Ladies
3.5
love to
going
know
on 7.
Yeah. Guys like to know that too, but ladies really love it.
Everyone loves kids,
Everyone
man.
loves kids.
Yeah. Oh, I love my own kids. To the moon and beyond. We just don't tend to get quite as clucky. Or is that a sexist thing to say?
I think
I'm going to get cancelled.
maybe when they're young, they're just at that real enjoyable age and giggling and laughing and.
Yeah.
My boy's just at the age now where he's starting to sing all my songs back to me.
Oh, nice.
Yesterday was I just feel like having a little jam with my friends, and I was like, spot on. Got the
Yeah.
pitch and the timing, and I'm
Nice.
like looking at
So
him.
it's a little singer.
Yeah, yeah.
Excellent.
He plays the drum kit here. Picture of drum kit. That's sort of normal thing, Ask our neighbour's a heavy metal drummer, and but Huey likes to come down here and just walk in. He doesn't know how to close the door yet, so he comes in, just smashes it, singing songs about a garbage truck or something. Garbage. I think it's really good for kids to have that opportunity to express themselves with music while their brains are developing, and that's something that I was given in my childhood. I've got 11 brothers and sisters, and it was a musical household. My dad was a guitar teacher, and he just bought instruments and put them in the studio, and he'd say after dinner, "Oh, let's all have a concert. How about you all go write a song or do a dance or think of a costume or a comedy skit or whatever you want. You can have your 2 minutes, and I'll judge you, and the winner gets the chocolate ice cream, you know, or something like that. Losers get the strawberry." So,
Still, good
it's an incentive there.
Bribery works.
We're all redheads, but we all love chocolate ice cream. So we came up with some songs. My little brother wrote some great songs, and my older brother, I think everyone knows him as a prolific songwriter of, you know, 8 Ball Lake. That's what I'm talking about, my older brother.
And he's all over.
Cheers to 8 Ball. He taught me a lot of what I know about music. You know, he's my older brother. You know, everyone wants to be like their older brother, or at least challenge, or try to be better. Heaven forbid. Not in my case, but
his hair is a little bit more red than yours.
Oh, absolutely more red.
Yeah.
He's actually taller than me. All these years I thought that I was taller, but we stood back to back last Christmas, and my little sister, I wasn't going to argue with her. Argue with 8 Ball, but not my little sister. Not a chance. So he's 8 Ball's got he's got a brilliant reputation and a lot of achievements that he's travelled the world. I think he's played in like 17 countries or something, and lives as a house in America in Nashville. And
Yep.
so,
we'll have that plug on the screen.
It's been really helpful while he was over there doing his recording. I've been recording some of the Hammond on his album. There's a Hammond organ just over here, cut to screen. I might even play that a bit later, if Jeremy will play the bass.
I'll play the bass.
I've got a band. And Robbie's going to play the drums.
Yeah, I'll tap on the drums.
All right. You can cut that bit out if if I put you on the spot.
I can do a beat. Not a fantastical, magical one, but I can do a beat.
Yeah. Well, I forgot where we were going with this.
Back at...
You're talking about your first album.
Oh.
And also, you haven't said yet where people can find when they can come to gigs. And,
well...
Like, how can they find
Sorry, I assumed that, people these days know when they want to find someone, they look them up on Facebook.
Yeah, just Google it.
Or Google.
Yeah.
I've got dillionjames.com is my website, so hopefully one of the first hits. I think there's a few Dillion James that tries to autocorrect sometimes, but there's definitely an I in the middle.
Actually, your problem is...
I've got a lot of problems.
No. When it comes to internet searches, because I've searched you many times, your problem is there's a country music singer in the United States who has the name Dillion James.
Is there now?
Really?
Yeah, look, I'll show you.
It's up
Come to screen.
We'll show you on the screen. Show you on the screen.
Really? Well, I didn't know that.
When I first wanted to make my own website, when back in the day, like about 2000, I was like, I should have, if I'm going to be a musician, I'll get my website. I looked at dillionjames.com, typed it in, and it was a porn site.
Oh, really?
So I was like, oh no! I was like, oh no! This is worse. If I have, if I have dillionjames.com.au, then people will forget the AU and just go straight to the. And then one day I searched it, and it wasn't. I used to sort of keep an eye on it. Sometimes I'd show people and go, imagine this if your name was like, and one day I searched it and it wasn't there. So I quickly rang up the IT company and was like, I want that URL. It's got to be mine. I'll pay for it now. And then sorted out a website later, but I had to own that internet real estate. I'm not letting go of it now.
Yes, I can't own any real estate because unless I do Robbie Jobbie, my name's as common as bloody John Smith.
Mm-hmm.
There's probably millions of
Scots
bloody websites.
Yeah. Well,
but there is a Yank with your name.
There's actually a brand
I'll show you.
There's actually a brand of guitars in America called Dillion guitars, and spelt the same, and that calligraphy writing. They make flying V's. I want to get one.
Get
one day.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've asked 8 Ball to bring me one back from America next time he's coming back. So, or if he stumbles across one, I guess you got. I don't even know if they're still making them, but they were making them 20 years ago. And
does he do Aussie tours?
8 Ball.
Yeah.
How often you reckon?
8 Ball does Australian tours all the time. I think he's playing our hometown last night and Atherton tonight and Townsville tomorrow, and then he's yeah.
And then back to America.
No one's going back to America right now. No one in their right
so
mind.
he'll be touring for quite some time.
Yeah, we played a couple of gigs recently. One that comes to mind is the Mudgee Bar Blues Festival. It's a perfect window where there was no COVID cases and dancing was allowed, and it wasn't 100% capacity, but it was. I mean, there was enough people there for COVID. I've got to say, there was people dancing around, having an absolute ball. It was like a trip back in time, you know. And the Mudgee Bar Blues Festival had, I think, 10 bands over 3 stages, all in the one pub, like a beer garden, a restaurant stage, and a main stage. And it just was a free gig and a free event. I don't know how many people turned up. It was lots, and the pub made a, made a tidy one that day, and so I think we're going to see more of them. And 8 Ball ran that. He's running big events now, and I'm quite lucky to have a brother who's right in on the scene, giving me opportunities. But saying that, I've always floated my own boat, and I play a lot of solo gigs at the moment through COVID. Just been keeping the piano and the stomp box going, and I really enjoy writing my own songs and playing. Just keeping the music alive. When I can get a duo, when I can, everyone's budgets is a bit less than what they used to be, and naturally people aren't going out and spending, and we can't hang out in the same capacity sometimes. And
it has been a squeeze.
Yeah, for all of us.
But
are you getting more gigs now? Like I think.
I'm getting different type of gigs. I'm not getting as many gigs. I was pre-COVID. I was doing about 5 or 6 a week, and that was great. Sometimes 2 a night. Quite often you'd Thursday, 2 on Friday, or 2 on Saturday. You miss a day here or there, but it was like my working week, and it was full on. Play a lot of music and get to the end of the weekend, and I need to give the fingers a rest, and and but then I was around, around the family and walking the kids to school, having that time, and now the way things have gone, I at the start of COVID, I thought, what does the world need right now? It needs people are online shopping all the time. So I thought, I'll just buy a new 2-ton truck and deliver boxes and run around with the mask on delivering stuff. It'll keep me fit and
busy,
keep things going, And I already owned a van, but I bought a bigger one, and I lent my smaller one to the drummer that I play with, Jacob Peterson. And so we're working for the same company. We see each other some days, and so we're just sort of doing what we can to keep the band together, and still recording and listening to music on the road and chatting on Bluetooth, and so it's the music's not dead. And every time I can get a band gig, I've had a couple of trio gigs at the Walrus Club, and duos at Trifford through lockdown. And
any of the Zoom ones?
Zoom?
Yeah.
Zoom online gigs.
We had a massive jam here in DJB Studios. Blind Dog Donnie joined us.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Shout out to Blind Dog Donnie.
Blind Dog Donnie. Yeah, this is his neighbourhood. He's still around, definitely.
Yeah.
He was
cool.
I did a podcast with him, and just right in this spot about 2 months ago. With and an old colleague of mine, Louis Bromley, and I believe it's something to do with Bluey. It was like the West End Blueies, blues. That was the episode anyway. But I'll send you the link. The link is here.
It's right
Yeah.
there. Yeah, cool. And so who else did you have here? Like you had Donnie.
Yeah. Well, we had Luke on saxophone.
Yeah.
And Jacob was playing drums, and Norman on guitar, and
nice.
Matthew Beagley on guitar. Shout out to Matthew Beagley and Norman and all of the boys.
And shout out to Matthew Beagley's episode as well. Check that out on Scatology.
And also Louis was playing.
Subscribe.
I should say Louis was playing congas and percussion that night. Everyone knows Louis, the Cuban. Yeah, he's just become a dad too. He's you can't see it. We can't swing to it because the conga that he reskinned is actually the camera stand for tonight. But he made it after, I've owned it for 10 years and it didn't sound right, and he put a skin on it for me when he was here. And really enjoying the congas at the moment.
Cool.
Until it's only so much. I don't want to give myself like arthritis in older years for not hitting it right or something. But I love the drums. Drums is where music started for me, really.
Oh, really? Really?
Started out as a drummer.
With an older brother like 8 Ball, I was never going to be the guitarist in the band. Dad was a guitarist. 8 Ball learnt off Dad, and they had their kind of league, and I was little Dillion. What can I play? Can I play the drums? All right. If that'll shut you up.
Give us a beat,
as
bro.
a little kid, just
Give
loved
us a
it.
beat.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it, and but I always watched them play guitar, and when it came to playing, I knew what a D and an A and an E, and just been looking at them while I'm drumming for years, So eventually, I guess my older brother's 3 years older than me, so all of his friends, they all hit puberty. Him and all his friends hit puberty like 3 years before me. So when it came to having a drummer who could take their t-shirt off and bang it and impress the girls, well, that wasn't me. I was a skinny little kid, so I lost my job, unfortunately. But fortunately,
Which job?
the drummer in the band.
The drummer.
I was the drummer.
Why did you lose it?
Okay. Revision.
Rewind.
So my brother and his friends were all 3 years older than me, and so they hit puberty 3 years before me. So they all testosterone kind of took over their body, and they grew massive and muscly.
So they were
and hairy.
louder, and you lost the job.
They were louder and musclier and bigger, and they could hit the drums really
That's
hard.
why you lost the job.
Yeah, and I was too skinny and weak, and it was
I gotcha.
boom, boom,
Yeah.
and it just didn't sound right, didn't look right. In fact, it just wasn't right. And I had to wait my time, but I was tall enough to wear a funny hat and stand over the side on the bass and fit in with the big kids. And the amount of gigs I did at 13, 14 years old on the bass, not knowing what I was doing, but I think 8 Ball knew that I was musical and I'd play exactly what he taught me. And so he taught me so much about bass and guitar. We used to sit down in the shed in Mariba. It was like, some days it would be 45 degrees in that shed.
Oh, really?
And and it was, it's like, it's practice time now. Well, you're out of the band. I don't want to lose my other spot. So I was in, but it was really good because that kind of revision and of material, and we tightened right up. That by the time we got to doing gigs, we were, we knew what we were doing, and we didn't make mistakes, and we jammed in that shed so many times. The friends would come over, and it'd be Friday night. We'd be having a jam, and a couple of ute loads of Mariba bogans would turn up with Bundy and Coke, and just like, this is obviously where the party's at. The pub sucks. Let's all go to the Aitkins house for a jam. And
nice.
when I say bogans, I mean friendly, hippie bogans, the ones that we, are connected with most in town. Having a big family, we had a large space out on the farm and a lot of big jam shed, and neighbours were far enough away that it made for a free kind of lifestyle. Express ourselves till we could jam till 2 a.m. and go, all right, probably.
All the noise things. Right.
Yeah, all the noise things, and
with suburban. Yeah.
Yeah. When we
you didn't have those restraints.
We grew up in Emerald Creek. It was probably about an hour's drive west of Cairns, and up in the hills a bit, and then down and onto the bushland where the creeks flow through, and it's pretty wild country, and cowboys driving 150 in their utes with can of bunnies.
Which state is this?
Queensland. Cairns, up north, far north.
Oh, right. Okay. Yep. So you would have had leeches.
This geography's not that great.
I've been to Cairns.
You do get leeches up in
jellyfish, crocodiles.
Look, the
crazy mosquitoes. What else?
I was going to top it off, Robbie, by saying that I guess the rainforest near Gordonvale is meant to be one of the most if not the most biodiverse part of the world.
Yeah.
That's that meant the density of species, the amount of species per cubic meter is meant to be more. You know, so that if you're going to measure if you're going to measure biodiversity, I guess that would be one way to do it. How many different species live in a space? You know,
and 80% of them want to eat you. 80%. But you can always kick him in the face.
Yeah. We're not talking about your mates that you jam with. Don't kick them in the
No, I was
face.
talking about crocodiles.
Yeah.
sorry guys, I just phased out. I was just having a gin and tonic. You were talking about kicking people in the face, and I thought,
No, crocodiles and mosquitoes.
I'm in that.
I'll clarify that for the audience.
Mm.
Yeah.
Crocodiles, mosquitoes,
Snakes.
Kick 'em in the
leeches,
face.
leeches in the face.
Wow.
What else? What else is up there that will eat you? The jellyfish, kick them in the face.
Do they have
Stinging
a face?
nettle?
They don't really have a
Just
face.
make sure you have
Stinging
shoes
nettle,
on.
kick 'em in the face.
Stingrays.
The stingrays,
Kick them in the face.
kick them in the face.
Gosh, man, remind me to take you as a bodyguard next time.
Cane toads definitely
You
kick
can
them
have a
in the
big
face.
steel boot.
We will sing about the bayou, about what we like to do. I noticed a vow too. Come on, well, I'm gonna pass it to you. We will sing about the bayou, where hard times ain't nothing new. I noticed a vow too. Come on, well, I'm gonna pass it to you. Yeah. You can carry your beer around, straight out the bar, walk downtown, follow the pulse of the marching bass drum. That's where the people are having fun. Trumpet solo on a trash can, throw in a 20 if you're the man. Punk on the rush, taking over the road, getting paid by the bucket load. We will sing about the bayou, about what we like to do. I noticed a fire or two. Come away, I'm gonna pass it to you. We will sing about the bayou, the Cajun blues. I noticed a fire or two. Come away, I'm gonna pass it to you. One more time. We will sing about the bayou, where hard times ain't nothing new. Saving up for a taxi home. You don't wanna be walking alone. Hey! Frenchman Street.